everybody?
Welcome
back to the Old Guy in the Club podcast. What's going on, Robzilla? You look like you got something on your mind.
Nah, dude, I'm just Neil Jackson just bringing the heat. I love that track. That's just, there's just good Friday feelings right now. It's just setting the tone for a good show. So thank you, Neil.
I think we all need a little good Friday feelings. Friday good feelings, whatever you want to call it.
Good vibes, good Friday feels. It's been a weird year, so let's just make it good. Good music.
This year sucks.
Yes.
You know what grinds my gears?
2020. But we'll save that for the end of the show.
It's so dumb.
At this point, I actually don't. That doesn't even grind with my gear. That doesn't even grind my gears. Actually,
really?
I've gotten so comfortable with this that I'm just like, you know what? This is what it is. This is what it's gonna. I'm just gonna get comfortable with this.
Really? Oh,
yeah, I'm comfortable with it now. I just go to the supermarket, come back, wash my groceries, figure out how to stream.
You're still doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, have you been reading the news? The numbers are going up.
Yeah.
So
hey, let's take a quick step back and finish the intros really quick before we jump into this. From San Diego, California, hi, my name is Robzilla. Also with us, always from New York City, the one and only Neil Jackson. And of course, he is the old guy in the club. This is his show from suburban Phoenix, Arizona. He is Justin Zotz. What? You are from suburban? You are in suburban Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona's assistant. The outskirts.
I guess that's well. How would I explain this? I mean, if you equate it to like Los Angeles, where would you say I live? In like Calabasas, or like Pomona, or Pasadena? Is that what you would say?
Santa Clarita.
What the fuck is that?
You're out there. Exactly. That's exactly my point. And lastly, sorry, a warm welcome to all of our friends in the chat room. Welcome, you guys. Comments, questions, snide remarks, always welcome in the chat room. We are so glad you are here.
Yes, we are. I still find it amazing that anyone shows up to this thing. I can't even imagine that I'm here.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that Neil and I still show up, but here we are.
Don't even get me started with that. Like I was sitting over there and I was like, I got it. I don't want to go.
You guys, I don't know. I think if I didn't force you guys to do this, you wouldn't show up.
Well, I don't think you're forcing anybody to do it. So I genuinely enjoy hanging out with you guys. But look, as Cassandra says, you guys are pretty entertaining, to be honest. Thank you, Cassandra. We do appreciate you. See, we have a fan. We one. So it all starts with one.
That's all we need.
Yeah. That's just
all we need. As long as one person enjoys this, I'll keep doing it.
18 weeks. One.
This is our 18th week, and I titled the episode 18th Time's a Charm. Just because maybe this is the week we actually get it right.
Maybe.
It's not looking good so far.
No, it's definitely not looking good. Well, I want to say a big hello to everyone in the chat. I think we've all seen you guys here before. Thanks for coming back. Much appreciated. Because if it was just the three of us talking, then what fun would that be? Although we were just having a hilarious conversation before we jumped on here. I don't think we'll continue it today, but we're gonna talk about it before Halloween.
So, but let's frame it for the folks in the chat room. We're talking about Halloween costumes for adults, what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. So, kind of keep that stewing in the back of your heads. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to bring this topic back live. It actually revolves around me and a Halloween costume I've worn in the past. And, we'd love to get your take on it. And has the mindset of what's appropriate and inappropriate changed just in the last year? So that's coming up in an upcoming episode. And of course, we definitely want you involved in that conversation, guys.
All right. Well, so what do we want to talk about today? there's a lot of stuff. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, and I didn't think this would ever happen. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports right now, which is so nice and surprising. I mean, the Major League Baseball playoffs are going right now, which I honestly could not care less about.
I cared up until last night.
Of course you did.
What
'cause
happened
the Padres
last night?
suck.
So, in the divisional series, the Dodgers of Los Angeles were in a 5-game series against my Padres of San Diego, and the Padres were swept in 3 games. I will tell you, it was a little disappointing, but as somebody who's been perpetually disappointed by sports in the city of San Diego, and if you want to be heartbroken, be a San Diego sports fan. This was a great year, and I'll put an asterisk next to the words, year or season. But that's an exciting team to watch. They made baseball fun, which can be a little difficult at times. You know what? And go Dodgers at this point, because I want to see I want them to be the World Series champions, so that when the Padres do take it next year, they take it about 120 miles south from Chavez Ravine down to Petco Park, where it belongs. I'm just saying. So that's it.
They're not taking anything. Padres suck. Every sports team in San Diego history has sucked.
That's not true.
I feel your pain, man. I lived there for a long time. Worst fans in America. Besides you, of course. I kind of like you. Everybody else sucks. That's how I feel about San Diego sports fans.
Listen, okay. But how about those new uniforms? Those Padres uniforms this year are on point.
Wait, who's your team, Zot?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm so busy with life that I don't really follow baseball too much. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, but I couldn't tell you where they're at in the series. I think they're down 2-1, but I'm not even sure.
And they're playing at Petco Park in San Diego.
I know, that's so bizarre. But growing up and kind of my adult life in the bar business, I was a huge sports fan because it mattered. Now I have kids and a life and so many other things to do that it's not something I really pay too much attention to. My brother will text me or call me and be like, "You see that home run?" And I'm like, "Nah, I didn't even know they were playing." The only sports I really follow religiously these days are golf. And I'll say that first just to get it out of the way. It's very relaxing for me to watch golf. And I still love the NBA. I'm a big NBA guy. I am a huge LeBron James fan. And tonight, I think, is the night that he gets his, this will be his 4th championship. Now, I must say, with full disclosure, I have a very good friend of mine that has been an executive for the Miami Heat for 25 years. So selfishly, I would like him to get another ring because he has, I believe, 3 already, 2 or 3. But if he's not going to win another ring, then I would like to see LeBron get one because I think he's one of the most important figures in the history of sports, to be perfectly honest.
I'm still hung up on the fact that you consider golf being a sport. Golf is a hobby.
Sport. Yeah.
Golf is not a hobby.
Listen, chat room. If you believe golf to be a sport, put a 1 in the chat, and I'm just going to watch this thing go dead. Actually, I'm going to reverse it. Chat room. If you believe that golf is a hobby, put 1 in the chat, please. And we are sitting here, and I just want to see what happens. But yeah, that's not a sport. When you get to take a pause whenever you want, when there's a cart rolling around with hot dogs and beer, that is a hobby. That's an excursion. That's there's no uniforms. There's a dress code.
You're not getting ripped from golf. You're not getting a 6-pack. You're going to the gym to get the 6-pack, and then you're just gonna and you're gonna relax on the golf course.
Okay. No, you guys are wrong.
Okay, change my mind.
So you don't consider Tiger Woods an athlete?
I consider Tiger Woods an athlete. I don't consider golf a sport, though.
So
I
how
consider
can he be
what
an
he does.
athlete if it's not a
Time
sport?
out. I consider what he does to be athletic. I don't consider what you do to be a sport.
I mean, there's an argument for that.
I'm all with Zilla on this.
I mean, look,
Yes.
if you looked, if look, I think it's a sport, obviously, but I will say that if you looked at the golfers of the 1970s, 80s, they were smoking cigarettes as they're playing. You look at these guys now; they're real athletes. I mean,
No, nobody's smoking cigarettes anymore. Let's be real. That's just a societal change.
there actually are some, but the guys at the top of the game right now are athletes. I am sorry, but they are in the gym every day, working out. They are athletic human beings. Now, we don't have to go down a rabbit hole of golf because I don't think anybody wants to fucking talk about that, except for me. I'll talk about it all day.
No, let's
But-
not talk about golf.
What?
Well,
Let's talk about everything else I don't know, but golf, I just don't want to talk about that.
No, but I'm just going to go out and point on my point, which is golf is not a sport. At least the way this guy does it. This guy over here, that guy. Yeah.
I don't really understand what's
Him.
going on right now.
What's happening?
Okay. So sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second.
We're talking about
so-
golf.
Yeah, I thought you guys didn't want to talk about golf, so we're not gonna.
Well, we were talking about sports in general.
Long story short, I think LeBron gets another championship tonight. I will be happy either way. I think he's very underrated. He's not the greatest basketball player of all time. That's Michael Jordan. I don't think there's any debate about that. But I will say
I don't know.
that
Chad, is there a debate on whether Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all times? Just want to ask.
yeah, no, let's
I mean, are we suggesting like MJ in his prime versus Kobe in his prime versus King James in his prime, and we're putting Michael on the top? We're putting Michael on the throne for that. Is that kind of the argument here? I mean, are those the three?
no. Kobe's not in that mix.
Wait, does Magic Johnson fit in this at all?
Not really. It's Jordan, it's Kareem, and it's probably LeBron. Those are probably the three. You could throw Will Chamberlain or Bill Russell in there, but you have to go way back for those guys. And I mean, there's a lot of different discussions. If you want to talk about the most dominant basketball player of all time, you're probably talking Shaq, because nobody could stop him. But if you want to talk about
Except for his own free throws.
right, but if you want to talk about like who has played basketball at a higher level, nobody has played at a higher level than Michael Jordan, in my opinion. Now, I think LeBron James is the most skilled basketball player of all time. He does more things well than anybody else has, and the longevity of his career is incredible. But as Nels Angels in the chat just asked, what's the question? GOAT question mark. Yes, that's kind of the question. And I don't think there's any answer other than Michael Jordan. So
Over
that's
Kobe?
what I think. I don't even think Kobe's in the conversation.
You see, and Kobe is right up there. I mean, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but I've been paying attention my entire adult life, and I kind of look at it like my Mount Rushmore of basketball, and I would 3 of the 5 positions are 100% MJ, Kobe, and LeBron. But and then the other 2 are kind of debatable. I mean, you put in some names that are in there, Kareem, Magic, Shaq, perhaps. Some might even argue Allen Iverson.
Nobody would argue Allen Iverson.
The punchline was going to be that they're all high, but they're out of their minds and they all live in Philadelphia. But I don't know, man. I think that Kobe, and I'm not saying this just in retrospect because he's no longer with us. Kobe changed the game. I think that Michael changed the game in his era. I think Kobe changed the game in his era. And beyond the sheer competitive nature of who they are and what they do, they both brought watchability to the game. You would get excited to see. Listen, when the Lakers would do their preseason games in San Diego, people weren't buying tickets to see the Lakers. They were buying tickets to see Kobe Bryant, who plays for the Lakers.
They were buying tickets to see anybody other than the Chargers and the Padres.
Here we go again. Listen, the Harlem Globetrotters come twice a year. They buy tickets for that too. But
I know. That's exactly my point. Thank you for proving my point. Hey, real quick, let me interrupt. Jenna, I just made you a mod. So maybe you can help us out here. If you're not too busy, if you're not like driving your car or something, you mind throwing a poll up there for the people in the Twitch chat? Greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and let's throw Kobe in there anyway. Maybe we'll get some hometown votes. But,
I don't want this. I just don't want this to be I believe that MJ for me is the GOAT. The reason why I have any interest in basketball whatsoever is because of Michael Jordan. I buy all of his freaking shoes. With that said, I believe that sports and heroes and athletes, whatever the words we use, it's a generational thing. Like, from era to era. I think MJ was the greatest in his era. Kobe was the greatest in his era. LeBron is likely the greatest in his era, and some of these eras intersect. But I don't know. Let's hear from the chat, see what they got.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
They brought showmanship and a level of performance that no one else had in their times. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
and Jenna got the poll up. Thank you, Jenna.
Yes, you did. Great, thank you, Jenna. And I really do appreciate everything that LeBron has done for society on top of his basketball contributions. I mean, a guy like Michael Jordan never got into political causes. He never took a side. He's famous for saying, Republicans buy shoes too. So he never wanted to piss off any one side, so he never took a side, which he's doing that now. But when you have, $2.5 billion in the bank, you can pretty much do whatever you want and not think about the consequences.
All I want to know is who's the best dunker. I don't really care about any of the other stuff.
Look, Jordan took the dunk contest to another level. He basically made that a thing. And he was great back then. But the guys today are just on another level. LeBron is just physically a freak and can jump higher than anybody. He's stronger than everybody. It's pretty amazing.
We're saying Jordan or LeBron?
No, LeBron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just different. Jordan was smooth and could do crazy things. LeBron is just powerful. And look, we're probably getting too far into this. They're all great, but Jordan's the GOAT in my mind.
Jordan.
I would agree. I mean, but I don't know if my if I have perception bias because of my age, being an older guy in the club, growing up with Michael. Michael was in my teen years into my adult years. So, and then you kind of move on and life happens and you become less and less focused. And I'll own the fact that San Diego not having a team, it makes it very hard to be interested, right? A lot of games weren't shown here because there is no NBA in the city. So it's hard to latch yourself onto something. I mean, let's be real. The first San Diego team, the San Diego Rockets, now play in Houston. And then the second San Diego team, the Clippers, now play in Los Angeles. So there isn't really, every time we get something good,
I actually didn't know either of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rockets were, because we used to build rockets here in San Diego. And now they launched them off from the Houston Control Center. That's where they get their name. And then the Clippers, being the ship, they sailed their asses up the I-5 and now play in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Wow, the chat agrees with you. MJ.
Yeah, MJ's the best. In my mind, there's no...
I'm just surprised nobody voted for King James.
Well, it's interesting, though, but it goes MJ for the win. I'm wondering how that vote went, right? Because MJ came down with 67% of the vote. So let's call it 2/3 of the vote, which means that, the other 2/3 got split between, the other third, rather, got split between the other two. So
LeBron had 0. So, so
oh,
Kobe
okay.
got a third.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
Yeah. So hey, so chat, just for your information, come like 6, maybe 6:15, we are out of here because I'm gonna go watch this game. I have a dinner that I have to go to, a work thing, and then we are also watching the game at the same time. So I am out of here. I have to drive up there.
bye.
Hurry, who are you rooting for?
It's hard for me to say. Like, obviously I want my buddy to get another ring. I just don't see it happening, and I think if the Heat weren't playing the Lakers, I'd be rooting 100% for the Lakers. The way it is now, I kind of win either way. Either my buddy gets a ring or LeBron gets a ring, and I think he's so underappreciated. I love seeing him do well.
I think Jenna just gave the green sword back to you.
Why? Wait, why?
she's a Lakers fan.
Oh,
She's
she
like,
is.
you know what?
Okay,
You can just take take the
Take your
sword back.
green sword and
Yeah.
Like, I can't even be mad at that.
with no skin in the game, whatsoever. It just seems like the right thing. I hope it happens for Los Angeles. I think there wouldn't be a more poignant tribute to Kobe, and it shows LeBron's leadership. Kind of taking the mantle for and with that team. So, for as much as I despise my neighbors to the north, go Lakers.
Well, so look, if you're listening to this on a podcast replay, I don't know anything about sports. What I do want to know, though, I'm just going to ask questions for people that don't know anything about sports. Why does everybody hate LeBron? I can't figure that out.
I can't figure it out either. It's unbelievable to me with all the good he's done in the world.
Yeah, I just don't understand why there's so much hate for this dude.
Could that be one of the reasons why? Could potentially a lot of people's remember that at one point someone had said to somebody, and I believe it was to LeBron, it was, quote, shut up and dribble. And could it be that there might be a perception that athletes and celebrities are supposed to stay within a specific lane? And let me just qualify this statement. I don't believe in that whatsoever. I think that if you are afforded a platform, I think it is criminal for you not to use it. With that said, I think that a lot of people might push back against LeBron because he has no qualms about speaking his opinion about the world that we live in.
We're getting a lot of feedback from the chat that he's cocky, and
Okay.
I can't disagree with that. I think.
What has he done that made him cocky, though?
The way he comes across, and I have no problem with it because he backs it up. And forget backing it up on the basketball court. Like, he has opinions, whether they're political or social or whatever they might be, and he puts his money where his mouth is. I mean, the guy, started a school in Akron. The amount of good he's done in the world, I'm sorry, but I have a lot of respect for the guy. That's just my opinion. But I agree he's cocky, and I think every great athlete in his own way is cocky, because if you don't have that attitude, you're never going to be great. That's just my thoughts.
Mel in the chat room, Mel's Angels, hi Mel, said, quote, because he had to, quote, take his talents to Miami. And I think that LeBron was the victim of some really bad guidance earlier on in his career. Like, he just needed better PR people, because that one event where it was the build-up, the TV show, am I staying, am I not staying? I think that left a really rotten taste in a lot of people's mouths. And
the owner of the Cavs called him Benedict Arnold.
Yeah, I mean,
and he still went back there and won them a championship.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that might have laid some of the groundwork for people that are, to feel like, oh, who's this guy think he is? Like, I need a like, you would never see, like, I don't know. Tom Brady did hold a huge press conference and say, I'm taking my with his 27 Super Bowl rings, and say, I'm taking my talents to Tampa Bay. Like that, in sports, that kind of doesn't happen. And I think he just had a bad PR, which led a lot of people to be like, dude, you're kind of a douche. But he backs it up on the court every single day. So I don't know what to tell you.
I don't understand how that's cocky. If you're saying you're taking your talents to to Miami. That's what you're doing. How's that
Neil,
cocky?
you know, I'm not saying that. I guess maybe I'm not saying it right, but in the way that it was it was a media spectacle, and the way that it was kind of built up, and he's from Cleveland, he was leaving Cleveland, and the people in the city kind of felt like he turned their backs on him, as Justin said. Owner of the team called him Benedict Arnold. I think that one singular media event for a lot of people might have turned off, might have made people less agreeable to him. They were like, you know what, his personality, forget what he does on the court, his personality, that's a turnoff for me. Right or wrong, I'm not here to judge that. I'm just saying I think that's kind of that could be the mindset as for why a lot of people think the way that they do.
Marco Penta, our buddy in the chat, just wrote,
Hi, Marco.
If anything, people blame him for creating quote unquote super teams. You know, the big three was in Boston before, you know, LeBron created his super team. You know, maybe he just did it a little better. You know, and I really also like the fact that he took his people with him. You know, his agent, he could have signed with a big agent. He didn't. He created an agency basically with a good friend of his. And, you know, his manager is his best friend from growing up. And basically the dude runs Hollywood now. I mean, it's remarkable where they came from. I can't say a bad word about the guy. He might flop a little, complain a little too much, but, you know, everybody works the refs. All the great ones work the refs. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, they all work the refs. LeBron just does it in a different way. I have no problem with anything he does.
And my question is, you know, isn't a super team basically a construct of the front office? I mean, yeah, you could be a marquee player and you can ask for or demand all the things you want, but if the front office doesn't give in, that's that, right?
Well, kinda, but the players today have a lot more power, the top players.
Sure.
A guy like LeBron can make anything happen. And he did. I don't know the logistics of how.
So if he wanted like churros delivered to the team bench in between periods, that's going to happen?
100%. The guy showed up when he wasn't playing with a glass of wine and sat on the bench.
But he wasn't playing.
Right. No. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying he has all the power in the world. He can do whatever he wants. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't like. I mean, I like it better than the NFL, where the owners are 100% in charge of everything. Like they hold all the cards in the NFL. I like the fact that the players have a lot more say in the NBA. They can go where they want. They can, you know, they can maneuver a lot of different things in their favor, and I think that's a good thing. Shout out to Matt Mira, our good friend who's in the chat. For all the old people in our chat, Matt and I played golf together this morning.
Who won? I'm sorry. Did you guys actually keep score?
How do you keep score?
What are you talking about?
One hit it in the hole, the only one didn't.
No, it's so each hole has what's called, you know, a par, which is the amount of shots that it takes to get to that hole, and then there's a scorecard attached, and whether you're plus or minus each of those 18 holes, you just do that in succession, and then that gives you a score at the end of the round. So back to my original question, who won?
It's
Matt Mira. All right, thank you. Moving on to the next topic.
Well, here's the thing. No offense to our good friend Matt, but I've been playing golf for 40 years, literally 40 years. I'm a above average golfer, so you know I beat Matt, but we're not really in the same league skill wise, just because I've been playing my whole life. And the cool thing about golf, for all you assholes in the chat that don't like it, sorry, did I just say that out loud?
Actually, High T is an avid golfer.
Nice.
She actually live streams from the from the golf course.
No way. Wait,
yeah.
Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that next week.
Hey, High T. By the way, High T, put your stream, like, tell where they could find your next live stream too. Put that up in the chat, and we'll promote it.
Well, everybody just follow High T if you don't already.
Or that too. Sorry, that's easy. Thank you, Neil.
So-
Sorry.
So the cool thing about golf, and not to digress into golf again, but look,
No, but
if me and Michael Jordan go and play 1-on-1, obviously he's gonna win. Like there's no way around that. But if me and Tiger Woods play golf, there's something called a handicap, which, if par is 72, there's a handicap index. And what that means is I'm an 8 handicap. So that means I should normally shoot around 8 over par. So if Tiger Woods is a +5 handicap, which means he should shoot around 5 under par, he's going to give me 13 strokes. So I'm going to get a stroke on the 13 hardest holes on the course.
All I'm hearing is balls and strokes, and honestly, this is just not. And you want to call this a sport?
Have
Go
you
ahead.
ever seen that GIF where the girl is thinking and you see all these like math equations going on? That's me
Yeah.
right now. I'm like, what are they
I
talking?
think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna do a live stream where we're just gonna talk about golf one day. You guys can stay home.
Honestly, you should bring. I mean, if we were going to talk about golf, you should have brought high tea in.
We can do
First
that
off,
another time.
what would your handicap be if you were going up against Asians? Any Asian?
It's not. That's not how it. It's not
Is that
how it goes.
half? Is that half Tiger? I mean, doesn't that include Tiger?
There's any. I mean, I am Asian, and like pretty much half my entire family plays golf. I'm like, that is like a Asian dominated sport. That's why I'm
Well-
like, what is your handicap?
Actually, not. But
I don't know.
name the last. I was gonna say. It's
Tiger
funny.
Woods.
I was gonna say name
Tiger
the
Woods.
last.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. That's
Tiger Woods. And any golf. Any
the
golf
Asian
question,
Jordan.
Any golf question is going to be like one of 3 people: Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and Arnold Palmer, because I like his iced tea. Those are like the only things that I know about golf. But I will smoke all of you mofos in mini golf. Like, bring it. Then as soon as Corona goes out, I mean, I am a master on the mini golf court. We want to go putt putt. Bring it, son.
After
That's the sport
Corona
I can get
is-
behind.
After Corona's over, the first thing you think of is mini golf. I'd be like,
drove because I went to the doctor's this morning, and there's a mini golf course directly across the street from my doctor's office, and there's a huge sign out front that says now open Thursday through Sunday. And I got to tell you, I thought about it for a hot minute. Like there's like, it's the middle of the afternoon, kids are in homeschool or whatever. Maybe a little round of putt putt. There's no chance of catching a deadly disease, but nope. Smoother heads, cooler heads prevailed, and I came right back home. But
but you do side eye it every so often. And you're like,
I might look at it lustfully, and I'll tell you why. It's because that same
Did you say
part.
lustfully?
yeah, licking
Yeah.
lips.
Yeah, like
sweating. Yeah,
It's like
Corn
that. It's like
dog.
that meme with
Corn-
the dude, and he's like,
yeah, behind the
dog.
tree. The
"Yeah, that guy, exactly, that guy with the yellow jacket on, the guy with the yellow jacket."
because you know what else you get when you go to putt putt. When you go to, and it's called the Family Fun Center here over at the Bullwinkle's restaurant.
Oh, we had one.
inside. At Bullwinkle's, they've got churros and chicken nuggets and all of the things that somebody my age should never be consuming. They have all of those corn dogs. Who doesn't love corn dogs? They're amazing. And video games.
I actually hate corn dogs, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, to each their own. So,
Well,
anyways,
that
that's
is
why
not
I was.
surprising at all.
Well, I just don't like it's like sweet and savory together. I just don't like it. I have to have it separate. So the batter is sweet, and the hot dog itself is meaty. So yeah.
In 18 weeks, we should have started a list of shit that Neil hates, and then just run a running tally. And at the end of the show, we would just recap with. And for those that are just joining us, in week 18, here's the shit that Neil hates:
Yeah.
French fries, corn dogs, sweet and savory,
The old guy,
other
the
people,
dude,
Justin Zotz.
the old guy down below. We've got the dude that hates everything.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So
So,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I heard corn dogs. I was like, yuck. But what were we talking about?
Well, and I was just gonna say, and mini golf also has batting cages. When was the last time you guys had
Oh,
ever been to
yeah.
a batting cage?
It's been a
That's
long
fun.
time. No,
I've been to a
so
batting cage in a long time.
growing
That's
up in
fun.
Pomona, we used to have Family Fun Center like the next city over with Bullwinkles. We had the bumper boats, go karts, the mini golf, and the batting cages.
Yeah, my fat ass would make that a bumper submarine, but yeah. But our family fun center is that so the whole family beforehand it was owned by a family and then another company came and bought it, and because of Corona here in San Diego, the company went belly up, but the family that started all the family fun centers owns all the land, so they just started reopening them. They're reinvesting in them. Everything looks brand new. So I'm kind of, once Corona starts subsiding, I think it'd be a fun day to go out and get myself a slushie and take a couple hacks in the batting cage and play 9 holes on the Storybook putt-putt course.
I know someone that would happily go with you. I guarantee you Nick loves the batting cages.
My brother? Oh, 100%.
Yes. Yeah, I knew it.
I would go.
Knew it.
I would go. I used to love the batting cages.
You have to actually leave your house to do that, Neil.
But we're talking about when Corona's up.
Well, that's never. It's always going to be here.
Can't think like that.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think that way. I'm already out. I'm out in these streets.
Oh God.
You're what's hot in these streets. That's what we have to look
You,
forward to.
want to know what's hot in these streets? Coronavirus. Coronavirus is the hottest thing in the streets right now.
And that's why I'm not in these streets.
No.
He's hot
Oh.
in these streets. I'm not in these streets.
I'm not trendy right now.
I think speaking of hot in the streets and trendy, what do you guys think of this whole Dogface 420 thing?
Oh, that's the
think it's
best thing
amazing.
on the internet. Yeah.
I think it's
It's
awesome.
so good. It's really
I love it when-
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Justin. Sorry. No,
No, you go. I don't want to go.
Okay.
Age before beauty.
I'm age and beauty, son. So I love it when people get famous on the internet for good shit. So here's my take on it. First and foremost, for those that don't know the story, Dogface has a TikTok account, and one day was driving to work, and his car broke down, and he just decided to bust out his longboard, and he jumped on his board and started cruising the streets with a giant bottle of ocean spray, flipped on his TikTok account, and started filming himself singing along to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And that video has just taken over. It's been replicated on a number of occasions. I mean, Mick Fleetwood himself decided to jump on Fleetwood Mac decided to jump on a longboard with a giant bottle of ocean spray. So this guy got famous. He wasn't trying to be famous. He got famous for just being himself. And I think that sort of authenticity is something to be applauded.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Like social media, how I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you can do anything via social media, I think. And another, something else that came out this week, which, we don't really get political on this show. But something else that, I was cracking up when I saw this. After the whole debate, was it 2 weeks ago, came up and the whole Proud Boys thing came out. The hashtag Proud Boys has now been basically taken over by gay men all across America. And it is so funny, like that they just totally hijacked that whole movement by, the original Proud Boys that like this whole thing was about in the first place. And it's just
we should qualify what the original Proud Boys are, because there's somebody that might be listening to the replay on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, or they might be watching us live on twitch.tv that have no idea who the Proud Boys are. So tell us what they're all about, Justin.
Well, Neil knows the guy that started it, so I think
I
Neil
was
should
actually
tell
going to
us.
keep that a secret, but yeah, go. Yes,
Oh,
I
really?
do know the guy.
Were you really was that not for public knowledge? That's actually an interesting story. I mean, you obviously don't agree with his
All of a
stance
sudden,
on
there's a
anything.
knock. Now there's a
Yes,
knock.
I do not agree with any of his. Any of his.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, your sister's already in the chat. Like, what?
No. She knows.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Listen, because you
She's
guys
just like, what just happened just now? Yes, I do. I do know Gavin. I am not friends with him.
homies. I was gonna say you guys aren't homies. Homies. You guys have crossed paths socially. That's
we have
all.
crossed paths and we do know each other. We are not friends. We are not friends. We don't have each other. I don't have his number. Yeah. So yes.
But you
so
will
what
hear
were we
a knock
saying?
on your door shortly.
Zilla, why don't you jump in and save Neil? Why don't you explain the whole situation?
So the Proud Boys, for whatever reason, is a right wing Western chauvinist. They call themselves a gang. Some folks might qualify them as a domestic terrorist group. Opinions vary, and they were brought up in the first debate between candidate Biden and President Trump, and they were talking about white supremacy and those types of organizations, and that name specifically came out, and the president decided, he's like, hey, all right, Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. And of course the Proud Boys were like, whoa, we love this guy, this is awesome, we're getting an endorsement from the president of the United States. And some of our liberal left-leaning friends, especially in the LGBTQ community, decided to jump on that, and so their Proud Boys hashtag was co-opted by photographs of the LGBT community in showing affection to one another.
Men making out.
Okay, yeah, they're guys going ham. So yeah, and I think that the beauty of it is that the power of social media today gives people a voice, and I think that it's inspiring, and I think it's also a cautionary tale that you have to be mindful of everything that you're putting out, because it's like everything in life. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I mean, it's basic laws of physics, and if you put yourself out there with that amount of hate or that amount of prejudice, someone's going to come back and push that right back onto you. So I think it's a reminder for all of us to watch our P's and Q's, and don't be a dick.
Let me ask you a question. And this is for the chat as well. And you guys can shut me down if you don't want to talk about this.
Probably.
Because we try to steer clear of politics here for the most part. Well, I think most of us probably watched the debate. And I should disclaimer this. I'm not trying to defend anyone. I just think it's fair to have objective conversations about certain things. When he said, what would he say? Stand
back and stand by. Stand back.
When they were pressuring's not the right word because he's a bully. So I don't feel bad that he was pressured. But when they were kind of pressuring him to answer the question, to denounce white supremacists, right? When he said that, my initial thought was he kind of didn't have an answer and didn't know what to say, and that's what came out. I honestly don't think he's a psychopath, obviously, in a lot of ways. I don't think he meant to defend them or to
There's
call them
no
to action.
place for white supremacy in America. It's 9 words. And it doesn't take the president. It doesn't take the president of the United States. Justin, I'm sorry.
No. I agree with you. I just think that everyone was thinking Neil's so mad right now he doesn't want to talk about this.
No. I'm absolutely
No, look,
fine.
everybody was waiting for Biden to have a brain freeze. Okay, never happened. But I honestly think that's what happened to him in that situation. Again, not defending him at all. I just like to kind of give people the benefit of the doubt, not just him, not just
Justin. I'm sorry, but if you're the leader of the free world, that answer should be ingrained into your brain before anything else. If someone accuses me, if there is a political affront that says this person is this, right? Rob Zilla is Rob Zilla is not a white supremacist. But if someone was to come around and say, they suspect, Rob might be a white supremacist, and I know that I'm going to be on a national platform, I'm going to have that answer ready to go to erase all doubt, because why would we want to have any doubt about that? I'm not a white supremacist. So if the president wanted to clear all doubt, that was his opportunity. He could have taken his shot. He could have done it in 9 words, and he missed, whether intentionally or, whether he had a brain fart, sure, or maybe that's just the way he is. I don't know. But I mean, who misses an opportunity to clarify whether or not they're a bigot?
Good point. And yeah, look, I'm not here to argue with you. I
want to drive it home. Oh, and High T says he didn't want to lose supporters. Exactly. He knows exactly who his base is. He knows exactly who's voting for him. And the minute he says it like that, the minute he denounces it in such certain terms, they all go bye-bye. They're voting for they're voting for the libertarian candidate.
I almost think as a strategy,
he voting for Kanye.
I think almost as a strategy, he should just go the other way. Just go all in. Might be his only chance. Right? I mean,
like just show up to the next debate in a hood. I mean, was that what you're suggesting?
I mean, not that extreme, guys. But
I mean, how much farther does he need to go? I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Well, did you read in the New York Times that I think the debate got canceled?
Well, they asked him to do it. They asked him to do it virtually, and he was like, "No, not happening." Which, I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts on it. I think there's. I wouldn't count him out for one reason. He's willing to play dirty. And there's a possibility that he has dirt and he's just waiting, till the last possible minute. That's the only thing I see that could potentially kind of make things go that way.
Dude, I'm sorry, but today I'll leave it at this. Your sound?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine.
I can hear you.
Okay. What's a better show that way?
So,
without me.
So, welcome to the just reboot and just come back to us. Of course, I was going to say, let me just type that in the chat. Reboot and come back.
So, chat. Basically, what's happening is he can't hear us, but we can hear him. So,
yeah, if he actually, that's not a good idea, because if he reboots, he's not coming back at all. It's going to kick the whole broadcast off.
Can you guys hear me still?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
I got to get some different headphones. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. So Neil, how's life in New York City?
It's great. It's nice, clean. We had great weather today.
Can I ask a pointed question, because since we're on the topics of media and all sorts of other things that are happening, there are folks in the public sphere that like to portray New York in a very specific way, which isn't very flattering. Now, I know that every big city has its moments, its growth and contractions, but is there any accuracy to this whole mindset that, or to this narrative rather, that New York is a bust town, that the city is collapsing in and on itself? Because that's what we kind of hear through various media sources. You're there on ground zero.
So the stuff that I've seen through my IRL streams and stuff, it's empty. I mean, it's quiet from what we've all seen, but things are closing. But just like everywhere else, things are closing. Just like any other city in any part of the country, it's closing. But De Blasio's he's trying to put in affordable housing. This is exactly what I was talking about. Like, the whole old New York thing is going to come back. There's violence. Everybody's saying that it's rolling back to the 80s, early 90s, and I could see that happening. But is it collapsing? No, it's just changing. And changing for the good, changing for the bad, but nonetheless still changing. So it's just a matter of time to figure out what it's going to be.
I had to ask that because we were talking about New York City, and the way that social media and information gets pushed out to people. And the reason I asked that question is, you hear that like Portland is like we're going to lose the city of Portland. Portland is on fire. And one of my friends did a similar stream to what Neil does, did an IRL, and there are people on sidewalks like having brunch, walking their dogs, moms in yoga pants, pushing strollers. And I'm expecting bedlam and chaos. And, there's Portland looks like a nice place to visit. So I'm sure that the things that that are getting pushed out to us are confined within certain areas. But, people are trying to make it sound like these cities are lost causes. One day archaeologists are going to come back and like, here are the remains of Portland. And it doesn't seem to be any farther from the truth.
No. New York is not like that. It's the restaurant. It's just everything's changed. Everybody's eating out in the streets. When stuff starts to open back up, it's not going to look the same. Which might for me, I think that that's a great thing. But it's not gonna. It's just not going to look the same. But it's still going to be New York. People are still going to come. It's just we just got to get past this quarantine chaos. With the quarantine thing, it's just like it's starting a whole lot of other things. Violence. It's starting, collapsing businesses. It's starting like a lot of other things. Once we get past that, we'll figure out what the hell this is going to be. So
has the weather started changing yet out there? I mean, are you started? So I mean, I'm starting to think that there's going to be a lot there's going to be even more change when you can only have certain percent of dining capacity, and they were kind of offsetting that dining capacity by using outdoor alfresco dining, and you can't do that in the dead of winter in New York City.
Right. Well, it's funny. So Giz is saying that restaurants only opened inside for 25% capacity.
What up, Giz?
He is in Southern California, and it's the same thing with New York. We get 25% capacity, but I think they just passed the law that it's going to be outdoor eating is going to be allowed year round.
Okay.
It sounds crazy in the middle of winter, but I have a feeling in my mind, this is what if I had a restaurant, this is what I would do is do, the whole canopy thing, heat lamps. I mean, that's
right.
pretty much what like weddings and everything else does to keep the
Sure.
room. So I could see that happening. Now I could see outdoor seating possible. But we'll see. Like, again, they're just making do with whatever they can handle. But in New York, it's actually kind of interesting. It's like, Justin, about like the street fairs when they block off like certain avenues, and it's just like, that's how it is here. Like, you just see canopies. It's actually kind of cool. It's just different.
I was there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, if you're expecting to see New York the way it used to be, it's not that. But it is actually kind of interesting. It's like a street fair everywhere. So
I was just kind of, it's the mindset of just kind of like checking in because, New York seems to be at the very top of the discussion. And actually, High Tea from our Twitch chat, she's, checking in from Toronto saying they are back in lockdown as of midnight tonight, 939 cases today alone. It's the whole country and the world is shocked. You guys are not on lockdown with the numbers you guys have. Oh, what she's saying is that the rest of the world is shocked that the United States isn't back on lockdown with the number of positive cases that we have. That's not, and then Marco Penta chimes in with Spain is shutting down again. I heard that there's a massive spike in Madrid, which they were doing very well, I guess, for some time. So I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet, and I don't think we're going to be out of it for some time, especially with influenza season being here.
Who got their flu shot? I know this guy did.
This guy.
Justin's going to go golfing.
Wow, we have a celebrity in the house.
He rode his magic carpet to come visit us.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I think he can say that, can't he?
Of course he can.
Yes,
But
of course I can.
Justin, I don't think your mic is inputted correctly.
Oh, Jesus. Again,
Technology.
It sounds like you're broadcasting live from your bathroom. Hello, Sujit, President and CEO of Scam Artists. Welcome to the chat. It's nice to see you, sir.
Is this any better?
Nope.
How about now?
Nope.
Great. That's good. Good stuff. Love it.
Unplug your mic, plug it back in.
Yeah, it looks like it's picking up from your headphones and not from your actual mic.
So, yeah, I got my flu shot. That doesn't make me invincible to coronavirus, but you know, I got something. I won't catch the flu.
This is my 10th straight year of getting the flu shot. You know, it's I'm not afraid, or I'm not ashamed to share my medical history. I lost a lung a handful of years ago. And my doctors have made it abundantly clear that a respiratory virus of any kind, whether it's influenza or the coronavirus in modern times, it's not in my best interest to be contracting that when you're just anatomically deficient. So I'm all for the flu shot, ladies and gentlemen. If you think it's good for you, do it. And if you don't do it. Just
Are you telling us that we gotta send? Do I gotta line you some bubble wrap? Do I gotta bubble wrap you?
Yeah, I'm very fragile. I look menacing and intimidating, but I'm very fragile.
I'll give you a crash helmet and a bubble wrap.
Absolutely. A couple other celebrity friends that are in here. I have to say hi to the legend himself, Nikki Chips, also from suburban Phoenix, and my kid sister. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for coming to the show.
I know
Let's
you guys brought
adjust
this
mic real quick. I just want to is your mic fixed?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
good.
Bingo! Welcome
All
back
right.
to the show.
So what I want to know is, what does Nikki Chips do? The reason why is because every time you say Nikki Chips is in the chat, all I think of is like some mafia dude or a professional poker player. Which one of the two is he?
None of us really know.
You know, it's funny.
Actually, before you say that, Jenna, can we put a poll? Is Nikki Chips a member of the mafia or a professional poker player?
Well, the funny thing about
been friends with the guy for 10 years. I have no fucking idea.
right, the funny thing about Nikki Chips is nobody knows what he does. He's one of those guys like Matt Mira used to be, and like our friend JJ. No one really knows what they do, or Tim Sheldon, our other good friend. No one really knows what they do, but they I don't know, they do something, I guess.
Chat, what do you think, if you have a friend named Nikki Chips and you don't know what he does, what do you think he does by having the name Nikki Chips?
Hangs out with Nick Papa Giorgio.
No, I think international spy.
You know, it could be CIA kind of. Could be. Never know.
It's funny, Nikki Chips actually randomly lives about 12 minutes from where I live. And
So
we didn't know
you're-
that. When
So
I
you're
moved
going to
here, I
be
didn't know
gone
that.
first. Out of us
Oh, no.
three, you're the first one on the list.
No, I know where to go if I need anything.
Okay, we got a poll up.
Hold up.
Do. Let's see.
My sister says I think he comes up with the new chip flavors at Lay's. I think that's actually
He's that hired gun for all the chip companies.
but what a great fucking job that would be. What do? You know the new Sriracha barbecue Ruffles? I made that shit.
No. He masterminded it.
Yeah.
So speaking of potato chip flavors, I was at the Jersey Shore. Remember about 8 weeks ago, something like that, and I was there with my. I think I was there with my dad.
Oh.
And as we were
the
going,
situation.
as we were going up to the to check out, there was like a little end cap with some potato chips, and there was dill pickle flavored Lay's potato chips. And I go to my dad. I go, "Oh my God, that is so disgusting. Who would eat something like that?" And as I said it, the woman in front of me had like 8 bags in her car. Needless to say, she was not really happy with me. But to get back to the chat really quick, and Sujit poses a very a very important question, and we should probably bring this up. Who is the oldest of the three of you? Now, I like to bring this up pretty much every episode.
Throw up a poll. Let the
okay.
people decide.
Okay, we can.
I mean, if you've cheated, if you've heard us say it, because it's come up in the show on multiple occasions, if you know the answer, fine. But go with who you perceive to be the eldest person on the show.
Wait. This poll is still running. We can't throw a poll
we
up
can't run
until
simultaneous.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's another one.
Cross polls.
No, we cannot cross
then-
polls.
Then just okay. Then throw it up in the chat room. It's easy. If you think that Zotz is the old guy in the club, the oldest of the three of us, put Zotz. If you think it's me, put Zilla. And if you think that it's Neil, you're fucking crazy, and just put Neil.
I'm gonna go by the way of LeBron, where he got no votes. I will probably get 0 votes.
I think you're going to get votes because of a couple different reasons. I think we're pretty open about our ethnicities, and everyone knows. I think that you're part black, part Asian, and I think you got some white in you too, and you got a lot of stuff in you. And Zilla is Palestinian, but Neil, you know the sayings about, what they say. Neil,
I'm actually waiting for you to say it.
Oh, you want me to say it? I'll say it because these are very well known phrases, and they are. The first one is "black don't crack," as we know. And the other one, which I hadn't heard till about a year ago, and it makes me laugh every time, is bingo. In the chat, I knew it was coming. There it is. Asian don't raisin. So
That's right.
So it could be you, Neil.
Could be.
I'm going to align with Cassandra because I don't qualify quite as white. I'm a little off-white. Beige don't age.
That's a good one. I never heard that one.
I haven't either, and I'm owning it. I'm stealing it, Cassandra. I am appropriating that. It is now mine. So thank you so much for that. That is awesome. This
Oh,
beige
that's so
don't
good.
age. Love it. All right, polls up.
Wow, Neil's winning so far. So hey guys, I think the game is starting now. So we're gonna have to end this shit like soon.
All right, we'll end on the poll
Let's get into we got some things we have to do here.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this is a part of the show where we talk about the things that grind our gears. Hold on one second. Oh, just interviews. Game hasn't started yet. Well, I have about a half-hour drive to get to the place that I need to go. So I'm making an executive decision that we're going to end this thing soon anyway. But you know what really grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears, Justin?
Well, I'm going to say a broad thing and then a more specific thing. Spam emails and phone calls. Specifically, political spam emails and phone calls. I mean, now is the time that it's happening. But I get probably 30 or 40 spam emails from like every political party ever, every day. And I'm sure, no, there's not, dick. See, now you just threw my train of thought. But
No, I
anyway,
didn't.
so I don't really like the political ones, but I get this is no lie. I get a phone call every single day. A phone call every single day from a solar company in San Diego trying to sell me solar panels. Every day from a different 619 number, so I can't even block them. And every day I ask them to take me off their list. And every day I get a phone call from them, again, asking me to buy solar panels. And I haven't owned a house in San Diego in, I could not even tell you, 7 years, 8 years. So that's what grinds my gears today. Great talk, guys. Thanks for
Okay, I'm out.
It's just funny because I'm going to show this.
Wait. Hold on. The poll is up. The poll is up.
No, the poll is done. I won. I am the oldest.
So the poll came in that Neil is the oldest. I am the second oldest, and Zilla only got one vote for the oldest. So people think he's the youngest. I will set the record straight and say that Zilla is the oldest. I am second oldest, and Neil is the youngest here.
So it's basically in
Go ahead, Neil.
reverse.
Yes.
I have Justin beat by 1 month and 3 days. I am in April. I was born in April, and Justin was born in May. Both of us in 1974.
Wait, you have me beat how? By age, meaning you're the oldest?
I am. Yes, I don't shy away from that, but people perceive me to be younger because I don't act like a grumpy old guy.
Yep.
Well, that's what they say about me too.
I was trying to explain to somebody. They're like, I've watched the Old Guy in the Club podcast, and you guys are in your 40s. That's not old. I was like, it's not the number. There are just certain people in our podcast that just act like they're a billion years old. That's what I consider old.
But in our world, being in your 40s and doing what we do, it's considered on the old end of the spectrum. It is a younger person's game for a lot. So
just to answer Jen in the Twitch chat, yes, your older brother Robert is mine and Neil's older brother too.
yeah. So back to these political texts briefly. Can I just show you how I dealt with mine? So this is an actual text that I got, and I'll read. It says, "Here's Carl DeMaio's simple plain English voter guide, blah, blah, blah." And I responded with, "But Carl DeMaio is a giant shitbag who can't win an election to save his life, even when he has a giant conservative radio station amplifying every single one of his ridiculous campaigns. Seriously, other than his city council seat, what has he ever won? Mayor's race? Lost. Congressional seat? Lost. Repealing the gas tax? Also lost. The answer is nothing, which is about the same of value that I put to any of his opinions. I've never gotten a text back from these people ever again."
You should keep texting like, hey.
Have you guys discussed my text that I sent back?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I call? Is there a number I can call?
Get Carl back on.
Yeah, what's your number?
I'd like to speak to a manager, please. I mean, listen, if you're gonna get texts, you might as well freaking talk a gang of shit while you're at it. Have some fun with that. Why are you typing all that? No one else texts you? No, Jenna, I typed all that so that they never text me again, and it gives them exactly my point of view as to what I think about their political agenda, which leads me to what grinds my gears. Ladies and gentlemen, this is that time of year where we get to exercise the greatest gift ever given to a nation, which is the ability to have a voice. And this year, it seems to be so many more things are up for debate. And no matter which side of the spectrum you fall on, it would be tragic if you didn't exercise that. So what grinds my gears are people that voice their complaints but don't take the steps to be a part of the process. You still have time. Register and vote. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, even though I have opinions on who you should be voting for. But with that all said, get out there, contact your local registrar of voters. It's all over Facebook, Instagram. Every social media platform has shortcuts for you to figure out how to get yourself registered, get yourself educated on the topics that not only in the presidential race, but all the down ballot issues, down to your local board of education, and be a part of the process. Because when you do that, it makes our country that much better. So don't just sit back on your couch and complain. Be a part of the process, and that's what grinds my gears.
Okay. Neil.
I mean, just by listening to your guys is what grinds my gears. Mine's way different. What grinds my gears is when you get a city bike and it is violating you from behind, and you have to
Wait.
What's a city bike?
Zilla called the timeout on you.
Okay, city bike is basically those they have them all over the city. It's kind of like Lime and Bird. You guys have that in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
But they have stations where you can get pedaled bikes and stuff. So I do IRL streams, and once in a while, I get that one bike that gives me the bonus round. if you know what I mean.
Well, like the seats adjusted like this, like your seat's at a 45-degree angle.
Yep, I call it the forbidden hello.
But you have choices. Wait, there's a rack of bikes that you get to choose from, Neil.
Dude, like you rent it, you pull it off the rack, you get on it, you adjust everything, then you get on it. And not only that, I have all this gear on me that like once you're on it, you start to pedal for a little while and you're like, this might work. You're all the way down the street, you're like, oh. And then that's it. And then you're stuck with this bike into the next station. But I have so much gear, I just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to get to the next spot by any means necessary.
Jenna's saying at least you get some action, some kind of action. I'm thinking, I guess that's the safest way to get some loving in the age of Corona.
I mean,
if that's your thing.
Quarantine's a
seat
bitch.
in New York? Nope.
Loving Mad Max style, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was just, ugh.
How'd you get syphilis? Took a city bike.
So yeah,
horrible.
that's what grinds my. That's happened twice. So.
Well, I like that it's a bicycle.
It's because you keep going back. It's because you keep going back to the same one. Neil.
Yeah, I keep looking for that serial number. Like, nope.
There it is. Neil's like, there it is. He put a tile under it so he could find it, like put one of those tile trackers on. He's going 18 blocks in the opposite direction just to find that same bike.
Must find that bike.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's what grinds my gears.
I love it. Good stuff. Good show, guys.
We did it again. Thank you everybody in the chat for tuning in. This was fun as always. Well, not as always. A couple weeks ago, I had a miserable time. We had a terrible show, and it was all our fault, not your fault, Jack.
Yeah.
Is Jenna an old guy in a club now?
She's the old lady in the club.
I think she just threw the sword back at you just now.
That's okay. Now, normally I would ask you guys what you're doing and what are you promoting before we leave. But the game's going to start, so I think we got to get out of here.
Let me just then really quick then. I just want to thank Jenna. Thank you so much for modding this. Thank you for doing that for us. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being a part of the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you find us, wherever you find your streams. Be sure to stream us again on Monday. Tell a friend, and thanks so much for being a part of the show. Back to you, Justin.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Zilla did all the stuff that I would probably need to do.
You never do it. You never do it.
I know, I'm such an idiot. But thank you, guys. We will see you next week.
See you guys. Go Lakers!
Rolling down Imperial Highway, the big nasty red at my side. Santa Ana winds blowing hot from the north, and we were born to ride. Roll down the window, put down the top, crank up the Beach Boys, baby.